We've been talking about the cell membrane and how materials can move into and out of a cell. We identified that the two main types of cell transport are passive transport and active transport. So just as a review, Unit 3 is about cellular structures and functions, including all of the organelles, and Part 2 of Unit 3 is homeostasis and transport. The last video that I posted talked about passive transport, which, as you can remember, requires no energy from the cell. The next thing that we're going to talk about then is active transport. And active transport, as the name suggests, does require energy from the cell. And when I say energy, I'm talking about ATP. ATP stands for adenosine triphosphate. Okay? That's an energy-rich molecule that's produced during cellular respiration. ATP is kind of like the gas in the gas tank for a cell. It's used up just like the gas is used in your car. Transport functions that do need ATP are things that are moving against the concentration gradient. So they're moving against the concentration gradient. They're moving from an area of low concentration to an area of high concentration, which is trying to push a perfume smell back into the corner of the room. That would be kind of difficult to do because it would be moving things in the opposite direction of the concentration. The types of active transport that we're going to talk about are endocytosis. When you see the EN, I want you to think of the word enter. Endocytosis is going to be when a cell, here's a large molecule or a vesicle on the outside of the cell. The cell is going to engulf this molecule and pinch off a piece of the cytoplasm until it's inside. Pinch off a piece of the cell membrane until it's inside the cell. So endocytosis. A type of endocytosis is phagocytosis. The next type is, and this is number 1, is endocytosis. Number 2 is exocytosis. And when you see the EX, you should think of the word exit. Okay, this is where a large vesicle that starts off inside of the cell is going to, again, push itself out, pinch off the cell membrane until it's broken off a piece of the cell membrane and it has now exited the cell. The third type of transport that does require energy is our sodium, potassium pump. Okay, this, sometimes you'll see it written as Na, which is the symbol for sodium, K, which is the symbol for potassium. This is the sodium potassium pump, and this is, as the name suggests, going to be moving sodium and potassium into or out of the cell against the concentration gradient. So that's the third type of active transport that does require energy from the cell. Okay? So that's your different types of transport and ways that cells maintain homeostasis. Passive transport requires no energy, includes diffusion and osmosis. A special type of diffusion that uses the protein channel is facilitated diffusion. Active transport does require energy, moves molecules against the concentration gradient. Endocytosis is when molecules are going to enter the cell. Exocytosis is when larger substances are going to exit the cell. And the sodium-potassium pump is going to move sodium and potassium molecules against the concentration gradient, all requiring energy for the cell.